there's the story that everybody knows, but we're gonna show what it's actually like, right?
So thank you so much for having the time to talk to us. First of all, I want to start by the beginning. How did it all come up? I mean,
This movie.
yeah.
This movie came from an idea. One of the producers, Hiram Garcia, who is who works with Dwayne, his producing partner, and I had worked with those guys we made 2 Jumanji movies together, and so have become very close partners already. And one day, Hiram called me up and said, I've got this idea for a big Christmas action movie, and I want to tell you about it. And as soon as he started to sort of like lay out this world that he was imagining, that was the beginning,
Yeah, I want to talk about this universe because, I mean, you have these doors and and everything is so different than when we're used to seeing in a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So, what was your inspiration? How did it all come up to, make it happen?
Well, that was, for me, a big part of what got me excited about this was the idea that we could sort of, exactly what you're talking about, which is we could sort of show all of this in a whole new way. And the sort of organizing idea for all of that was, there's the story that everybody knows, but we're gonna show what it's actually like, right? And so we're gonna give it this very kind of comparatively, it just give it a sort of different reality than we'd ever seen this stuff in movies, and sort of, pull back the curtain. And so all of that, so we approached every kind of corner of it that way. We imagine a North Pole that's sort of this gingerbread village, right? But in order to accomplish what they need to accomplish in the North Pole, to make presents for everyone in the world, it would actually be this sort of vast, manufacturing metropolis, right? And so it sort of starts with this classic, almost European-looking city that then built out and became more and more modern and, more expansive. And so we had these sort of, this inspiration was, what would this really be like? What would a reindeer that could fly all over the world in one night actually look like? It would be pretty strong, right?
Because I know it's fantasy, but then you can see, okay, this could, could exist, maybe, in a world or something.
It's the true story of the North Pole. That's
Right.
exactly right.
I love that. I love that concept. And I kind of wanted to talk to you about Santa now
Yeah.
that we're talking about universes and so on, because we are used to seeing a Santa or a Papa Noel, as we said in Argentina, chubby and completely different to this athletic Santa that we have here.
Yeah.
So with this kind of leather jacket, really cool. So how did you come up with this concept?
Well, like a lot of public figures, they're different in real life than what you would imagine them to be, than what their reputation carries. So that was how we started to think about him. Who could actually pull this off? What would be the combination of qualities that would be required to make this incredible journey every year, right? And so there's all of this sort of, and what's wonderful about J.K., who plays Santa in the movie, is he brings all of the sort of warmth and integrity and this, an unstoppable force of good and hope.
Yeah.
But in the body of this sort of, very athletic and sort of tough, almost like the commander of a giant force, right? That we thought, well, that's what he'd actually be like.
Completely. He has kind of like this great presence. I mean,
Yeah.
with his voice and all.
Yeah.
And finally, to wrap up, Dwayne Johnson, again, I mean, you think of an elf you really don't go to Dwayne Johnson when you think of an elf. So it was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. How did this come
I
up?
agree. That was what you just said. That was the very thing that I was like, well, I could spend a couple years on that idea. That was exactly what I loved about it.
You just laugh about it.
Yeah, extremely large and formidable. That's what it really means. Yeah, and that as soon as I heard that, I thought like, well, that's something that you can only do with Dwayne, and I've got to be the guy to do it.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and I love the movie, and I really laughed a lot. It was so much fun for me. So
well, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you.